All right, brave keyboard warriors. You know what time it is. It's time for the weekly purge. That's why I took a little bit of a break today, because I wanted to make sure I get all your names down. Because the one thing that I don't like on my channel is a bunch of cowardice, okay? So Robert Shank, many other people that I didn't catch up to on yesterday, I want you to go ahead and call in. Come on, brave keyboard warriors. I think qualified immunity is garbage and it should go away. Change my mind. And yes, I'm going to give you, when you first call in, I will ask you your name. Well, you can just give me like a screen name. Doesn't matter. And then I will mute myself for 90 seconds. You can get out whatever you want to get out. And then after that 90 seconds, you can choose to hang up. But if you choose to stay on the line, you will shut the fuck up and you will allow me to have my counterpoint. That's how it works here. I'm not gonna just talk over me and just shift the goalposts. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna ask you a direct question. It's not gonna be a loaded question. It's gonna be the direct yes or no fucking question. And if you ask for context, I'm gonna hang up on you. You will give me a yes or no answer to that fucking question. I'm gonna hang up on you. Yeah. So understand something. I'm waiting. Robert Shank, you know you've been on the freaking chopping block for a long time. So I'm waiting for these brave keyboard warriors. Come on, brave keyboard warriors. Come on out and play. You know, I do this all the time. And the one thing that you guys hate so much about it, right? One thing that you hate so much about it is that it doesn't allow you to be cowards. Stop hiding in the comment section. Come on out and play. Phone lines are open. Discord chat is in the freaking live chat. Don't give me any excuses. Oh, I can't. No, don't want to hear it. Don't want to hear it. I double checked everything before I went live. It's all working just fine. It's all working just fine. No games. Don't play games. No, you can call in. If you got time to sit here and be in the freaking comment section, being a keyboard warrior, then you can also be a brave warrior and call the fuck in. Okay. Because no more will I allow you to be keyboard warriors in my on my channel. No, you won't. No, you won't. So I'm waiting for these brave keyboard warriors. Come on, brave keyboard warriors. Let's go. Qualified immunity is garbage. Change my mind. Because one thing that, I mean, you can come out and play, or I can just start purging you now. What's it going to be? What's it going to be? Because, you know, the one thing that I don't like is cowards. See, my whole military career, my law enforcement career, the one thing that shows you is that I'm not a coward. I don't back down from people. And no, you're not going to make me back down on my own channel. No, you won't. I'll make you back down. So I'm going to go to every one of these, you know, so let me sort of make sure I get all these invites out. I'm live right now. Instead of arguing with me in the comment section, why not come and directly talk to me? See, I guarantee you that none of these people are gonna ever take it up, right? Right? I guarantee you none of these people are gonna ever take it up, because my thing is that these people, right, they tend to want to leave, you know, they tend to want to just say stuff, right, and then not having you to, you know, question you, you know. So I'm again Whiskey Tango Foxtrot, and you are another one. I want you over here on the show. Seriously, I want you on the show. Robert Shank, I'm gonna go ahead and reply to you again, so I don't want to hear no freaking excuses. Get your behind on the show. Come on. I don't like cowards. I don't want people hiding in the comment section. I want to help you find your bravery. I want to help you find your bravery. Find your bravery. That's what I want. Come on, be brave. Be brave. Right? Be brave. Let's get all these keyboard warriors out there, right? Let's get all these keyboard warriors out there. Right? I just want people to have conversations and not just hide in the comment section. I think qualified immunity is garbage. Change my mind. The only way you're going to change your mind is talk to me. I'll listen. In fact, when it comes to a lot of black people on the BLM side, I'm probably one of the few, right? One of the few who would actually listen to you. So I want you to understand something. There's a point and purpose of the reason why I'm doing this. Is that I'm trying to prove a point here. The point is that a lot of these people are scared and terrified. They won't come out and play. They won't come out and talk. They won't do that. Because they rather stick to comic sections. Because if people understood what they were really like, if people understood what they were really like, if people could actually hear some of their reasoning for why qualified immunity is a good thing, if some of the people could actually hear that, right? What you would find is that a lot of it is linked to racism, right? A lot of it is linked to beliefs about people of color. A lot of it is linked to people who have these beliefs that by supporting the police in every situation, you're harming people of color. So I'm plugging in a Twitter code real quick. But my thing is that if those people, right? Again, Robert Shank, I'm gonna say it to you one more time. You leave one more comment without calling in, I'm gonna ban you from the whole channel. Robert Shank, I just want you to call in. Okay? Stop hiding. Stop hiding, because I just want you to be brave. And he left yet another comment just 4 minutes ago. So Robert Shank, you better call in. I'm telling you, your time is limited. Your time is limited. Call in. Stop hiding the comments. I think qualified immunity is bad. Change my mind. Change my mind. Let's stop hiding the comments. Is anyone gonna like call in and try to change your mind? Or are we dealing with a bunch of keyboard warriors who are pussies, who could just talk all that shit online? When it comes to actually challenging, or actually understanding what they're talking about. By the way, Adam 20, I see that you joined the Discord chat. I am in the stream room right now. I'll be in the stream room. That way you guys can see me in there. So that way, if you guys want to jump into the stream room, you can. Only one at a time, though. And if you start trolling, I got to kick you out. But Adam 20, you can join into the live chat if you want. I just gave you a role. I'm in the stream. I'm in the stream room right now. I just want to understand why some people think qualified immunity is a good thing. Because I'm going to go over why it's a bad thing. I'm going to clip this out into a whole separate video to demonstrate why it's a bad thing. I won't just tell you that it's a bad thing. I want to show you why it's a bad thing. And some of the common arguments for it that don't make any kind of fucking sense. Right? So, once again, I just want people to make sound arguments. And what I'm finding is that a lot of people aren't making sound arguments for or against something. Right? What I'm finding oftentimes is that these people are just pushing something, or they want you to believe something based on lies. And the second that you try to question any of these fucking beliefs, they freak the fuck out. Right? That's when the gaslighting starts. That's when the stupid shit starts. That's when the dumb shit starts. That's when that's where you see, oh, why are you so angry? You know, silly shit like that. Why are you so angry? Come on, man. I'm just bold-faced fucking lying to you. I'm just talking about qualified immunity that actually protects killer cops. I mean, why are you so angry at me? Because you're a fucking idiot. That's why. And when questioned, you will notice that these people are damn cowards. Because I've been told Robert Shake to show his ass up here, right? You see, he ain't called in yet. And oh, by the way, my Discord server is out there too, so there's no excuse. Even if you can't call in, anybody can make a freaking Discord account. So I want to see you get on that, Mr. Shank. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's not even like your real name. It's like a freaking troll account, because that's what you're pretty much here for. But I like trolls because I want to pull you out of the freaking comment section and show people who you really are. That's what I want to do. That's what I aim to do with this whole podcast tonight, is to pull you out of the comment section and show people who you really are. Right? So I want to show you what I'm talking about with Robert Shank. I want to show you, right? So let me go ahead and go over to the live scene real quick. Right? I want to show you exactly what I'm talking about with this fucking jackass, right? So I left a community poll. I says, should people be compensated if you were pulled over by the police, and basically this guy started making the most asinine, most stupidest arguments I could possibly think of. Now, I don't know if you can see this, but I'm going to show it to you. Right, so I'm gonna read it out to you. This is why I want him to call in so badly. Call in, because I'm gonna purge you from the whole freaking channel if you don't. If police stop you under suspicion of having committed a crime and they haven't charged you with the crime, or if that crime didn't stick with the conviction, should citizens automatically receive compensation with no questions asked for wasted time and potentially being held in cuffs? Robert Shank says, as it happened to me, it's more of an inconvenience than anything. Why would they have to pay for doing their job? Now, a wrongful conviction is another thing. So investigation into a crime is harassment. I can understand if there is a history-specific officer department doing this over and over again to someone as harassment, and that itself deserves compensation in the form of charges against the perpetrators. But one time, yes, because all it takes is one time. I don't think rape is right even one fucking time, you idiot. Harassment is goddamn harassment. So call the fuck in. And I'm going to ask you that one last time. You've got 30 seconds. You've got 30 seconds. I better see you either join the Discord chat, or I better see you call in, or you getting purged from the whole goddamn channel. Because the one thing that I can't stand, you know what I'm saying? Like trolls is one thing, right? But I can't stand a retarded troll, right? A troll who just tries too hard. And you're trying way too hard, my friend. Okay? You've worked my last nerve. And you can make another sock up account. That's totally fine. That's just called analytics for fucking me. But see, that's why I have no problem banning you fucking idiots, right? Because I realize that most of you are fucking trolls. A lot of you are. There's a lot of, but most people here are actually my subscribers who actually like me, who actually like my content. But a lot of you out there are just trolls who just say, oh, a black man who's against the cops and pro BLM, oh, I'm going to run over here right now. I'm waiting on you. I'm waiting on you. You got 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Let me go check the Skype line one more time. No calls in. Check Discord. Nobody except for Adam 20 is joined. Okay, and that is one. Goodbye, Robert Shank. You won't be missed. All right, so who's next? Because the one thing that I can't stand is all this cowardly hiding in the comment section shit. Okay, Mr. Gregory Newland. I left a comment in response to his comment on my black BLM / anti-Trump black man reacts to Adam Calhoun's racism, right? And I left a comment to him. He's like, "Who the fuck are you? Who was talking to you?" It's like, it's my video, my comment section, dumbass. So once again, Gregory Newland, I invited you to the podcast yesterday, right? And you know, I'm just waiting on you. So you've got 5 minutes. Once again, I don't like cowardice, right? I made it. Cosmic Squirrel, what's going on, my man? Cosmic Squirrel, my boy. I love you, man. What's going on? Yeah, I'm just making sure I'm going over some nice stuff. How's it going? All right, Cosmic Squirrel. All right, so we're gonna go over why qualified immunity is bad. Some people don't seem to understand it. So I've already yeeted one fool, because one thing that you know how it works here, right? Is that I just want people to have conversations, and trolls can't have conversations with. You can't talk to trolls. So I'm gonna be providing a link to this. This is why qualified immunity is wrong, and I'm gonna show you why. Why it's stupid. First of all, a lot of people don't understand the reason why. They don't even understand what it actually is. So I want to show you like what that is, and also show you why it's bad. Nothing much is going on, my brother. So I mean, I'm gonna clip this out into a separate video. All right, so there's the Cato Institute there about why qualified immunity is bad. Now, as always, guys, if you want to just have a chat with me, that's totally fine. But when I'm going over the article, it's going to be kind of quick, and I'm kind of shoot through it so I can try to get it over with, because I want to clip this out into a separate thing. But before I begin, 420, smoke them if you got them. 420, smoke them if you got them. All right, man, it's gonna be interesting. I love hearing your point of view. You are teaching me a lot. Okay, all right, so we're gonna tell you why qualified immunity is bad. By the way, guys, we have a new follower on Twitch. A new follower on Twitch. I can't believe this. I am so happy. Thank you so much, Aces of Spades, for joining me on Twitch. That is greatly appreciated. Hey, Aces of Spades, you are the shit. I want you to know that so long as you are on Twitch, so long as you guys follow me on Twitch, I am always going to entertain you. With that being said, guys, let's go ahead and get into this piece here. Let's go and get into this piece right now. All right, so the most common defenses of qualified immunity and why they're wrong is written by the Cato Institute. Okay, it's kind of a blog post, but again, this is the Cato Institute. They kind of know this whole scenario, and the way that they're purely detailed. I love it, because once again, they show proof, they show facts, they show actual cases. They show the reasons why they say the things that they say. Now, I'm going to get into Yale, into Harvard, into some other pieces. You know, I want to get into several pieces as to why qualified immunity is a terrible thing and why it needs to go away. So, again, qualified immunity, right? It is the idea that if you are a government official, say you are a police officer, say you are a politician, say, you know, a judge, unless something has happened previously in the area that you're in, or on a federal level in a major case that already made a specific action that you've taken illegal, if it's already been heavily prosecuted, right? Unless that has happened, you can't be prosecuted under qualified immunity. you just get off scot free. So you could be a police officer who literally sicks a dog on a homeless man who surrenders and try to use qualified immunity. You could be a police officer who literally sicks a dog on a man with his hands up. Qualified immunity will actually get you off. That's how qualified immunity works in all actuality. Now, are there cases where qualified immunity is a good thing? I'm sure, but those are few and far in between. And this is coming from a former law enforcement officer. So I can tell you, they're few and far in between, right? Few and far in between. So I want to get into some of the common ones, right? We need qualified immunity so that police won't hesitate when they have to make split-second or life or death decisions. How is it that a soldier who shoots an unarmed civilian can go to prison, right? And that soldier is at war. But a police officer on the streets, you're making these excuses for, right? So once again, I want to read to you what the Cato Institute here says. It is certainly true that police officers have to make difficult on-the-spot decisions under conditions of danger and uncertainty. So the argument goes, it is both unfair and unwise for courts to second-guess these decisions, and holding officers personally liable whenever they make the wrong call will deter them from carrying out their duties in the first place. This argument is reasonable, but it has nothing to do with qualified immunity. Our underlying legal standards for determining whether a constitutional violation occurred in the first place are already high deferential to on-the-spot police decision-making. Supreme Court decision in Graham v. Conner sets out an objective reasonableness standard for excessive force claims, which makes clear that courts cannot second-guess on-the-spot policing decisions. So again, it's an actual court decision that they're actually citing here. Okay, you already have that. So why do you need qualified immunity on top of that? See, qualified immunity, what that does is, right? What that does is that provides additional protection. You know what? My waste of time, you know what? I did come at you kind of hard, but you know what? I'm going to give you a wrench. You want to know why? Because you're at least willing to freaking listen. You get a wrench. You are now a moderator in the freaking chat. So if any kind of troll comes in here, you have free reign. Anybody who actually has a wrench in my live chat, right? Anyone who has a wrench in my live chat, you are immune to all channel rules. You can say whatever the fuck you want to say. You can say, devil's advocate, you a piece of shit. Fuck you. I hope you die in a grease fire. And guess what? I can't do shit about it because I set those rules. What's going on, Bomber Fox? What's going on, my waste of time? Cosmic Squirrel, thank you guys for actually tuning in. I want to show you why qualified immunity is a bad thing, right? I want to show you why. Good to see you are gaining an audience. Yes. I want to gain a bigger audience. Because again, I work so hard, man. I put out 3-4 videos a day, and I work so hard to get your attention. I know I'm harsh. I know I can be harsh, but I'm truthful and I'm honest with you. I won't lie to you. Even if I probably should skirt the truth a little bit to not reveal too much about myself, I'm still not going to lie to you, right? So once again, you already have an objective reasonableness standard that the freaking Supreme Court has already set, right? So for excessive force claims, you already have that in place. Why do you need double jeopardy, basically, for qualified immunity to basically, let's say that the objective reasonableness standard, right? Let's say that protects most good cops, and I've seen this protect cops in actual courtrooms. I used to work corrections. How many courtrooms do you think that I've sat through? How many court cases do you think I have honestly sat through and even testified in? A lot. They even give you overtime just for that. So I can tell you this has been used a lot, and it actually protects most good cops. Qualified immunity only seems to protect, most times from what I've seen, based on my law enforcement experience, bad cops. Because you already have an objective reasonableness standard that the freaking Supreme Court already set in Graham v. Conner. They already said it. So people who are arguing for qualified immunity don't even, I guarantee you will never hear them bring this up. And the only time that you will hear them bring this up is when they watch my podcast, because I'm the one that freaking told them about it. Right? So that's already set. You already have that protections, okay? The calculus, okay, this is an actual quote here. The calculus of reasonableness must embody allowance for the fact that police officers are often forced to make split-second judgments in circumstances that are tense, uncertain, and rapidly evolving about the amount of force that is necessary in a particular situation. So again, you already have the objective reasonableness standard. Why do you need qualified immunity? When have you ever really heard about qualified immunity? Think about it and be honest with yourself just for a second. If you already have the standard, why do you also need qualified immunity? This standard already protects cops. So why do you also need qualified immunity on top of that? Think about it just for a quick second. Think about it. This only protects and enables bad cops. And to be honest with you, qualified immunity has been used so often with bad cops that a lot of my opinion of good cops comes from the qualified immunity that bad cops use. If you know a cop is a piece of shit and they use qualified immunity, you say something. Well, they could lose a job. Here's why that doesn't work with me. Here's why. My best friend Jason Phillips, he was I met him in combat, and I've had him on the show several times. He's gay, and we met in combat in Kandahar, Afghanistan, before Don't Ask, Don't Tell was repealed. The whole unit treated him like shit because he was gay. We shortly after I left the active duty army, I went into the South Carolina National Guard, and the South Carolina National Guard has a lot of people in there who are homophobic, unfortunately. I saw my own First Sergeant Thomason, call him a faggot right to his face. I saw that. So I stood in. I roomed with him when nobody else would. And by regulation, as soon as I saw gay porn on his freaking laptop, I should have turned him in. And yes, it was. By regulation, don't you even fucking argue with me, because we've already had a VA claim. Think about this. A PTSD trying to get him 100% for what they fucking did to him. Yeah. We've already discussed this with a goddamn judge. Yes, it's confirmed. It happened. So by regulation, I should have turned him in. But did I do that? No, because it was wrong. I even threatened to fight my first sergeant. I mean, I caught a field grade Article 15 for that. And I'm proud of it. Because I did what was right. I said, if you call this man a faggot one more time, I'm going to beat your motherfucking ass. I'm going to beat you like a nigga in the goddamn streets. I did the right thing. Because when you see bigotry, when you see people getting treated like shit, an American soldier, a real American fucking hero, right? A real American hero, treated like that, you stand up and you say something. I refuse to be a damn bystander. So that's why this whole thing of, well, they're just doing their jobs. Don't fucking say that to me. You don't get to say that to me. You can say it to anybody else, but not to me. Because my whole life, my body of work has shown you, right, that when it comes to doing the right thing, having some fucking integrity, I will do it. Even if it costs me fucking everything. And you know what? If you would like, if anybody would like, I will even bring my friend Jason on. He lives right down the fucking street from me. So I want you to understand, there's a reason why I say things that I say. I say it because I live it. I will never ask you to do anything that I do not expect of myself. Right? That's the one thing that the Army taught me. Never expect anything of anyone, of fucking anybody else that you do not expect of yourself. And I expect police officers to freaking speak up because I did. No excuses. I don't care about your freaking job. Do the right thing. If you won't say anything, even though your job is at freaking risk, you never deserve the badge in the first place. You never deserve the badge in the first place. Yes or no? If an officer sees where another officer is a giant piece of shit who's abusing citizens and doesn't fucking speak out, is that a good or bad person? I want a yes or no goddamn answer. No. I need more. Yes or no answer. They're a piece of shit. And that's why most police officers, from what I've seen in my experience with law enforcement and the military, are pieces of shit. Because a lot of them use qualified immunity in the exact same way that it was never intended to be fucking used. Now let's go down to the second excuse that you hear a lot. Eliminating qualified immunity would negatively impact recruitment and retention of police officers because they would fear being sued. Let me ask you a question. Do soldiers get qualified immunity? Before you answer, I am a veteran rated at 100%, multiple time combat veteran, so don't fucking argue with me. They don't. I know soldiers right now who have shot unarmed civilians in freaking Iraq and also Afghanistan, and they are still behind bars. There is no context needed. You did what? Go to prison. And they're still there to this very day, almost a decade later. If soldiers don't get qualified immunity in many of the freaking scenarios that these officers do, then why are the officers? This is why a lot of veterans, from what you've noticed, like from your Micah Xavier Johnsons to your Chris Dorners to several other black veterans, just start shooting cops. Dave Chappelle was right. If you watch that one series called 846 that Dave Chappelle did on Netflix, he even said it. Why are so many guys from the military, so many black veterans, just killing cops? Because a lot of us see the actions of police officers as terrorism, because we're trained to identify terrorism. A lot of us see the police officers as engaging in acts of terror. If you have so many veterans, so many black veterans doing it over and again, it's like every year it happens. It's just not Chris Dorner and Johnson. They're not the only ones. Dave Chappelle went through a few names there. It happens pretty much every year. And it's specifically aimed at cops. It's not aimed at firefighters or lawyers or politicians, specifically cops. And it's usually a mass killing. Micah Xavier Johnson took out a lot of people. 5 cops. 1 man did that. Chris Dorner, we know what he did. Come on now. So I can already tell you that this second point is bullshit because it hasn't affected military recruiting, and we don't get qualified fucking immunity. Military recruiting is a whole lot better than freaking police recruiting, but we don't get qualified immunity. Right, Go Timer 420. I see you in the chat. Again, I'm gonna edit out a lot of times when I'm talking, but Go Timer 420. I'm give you a wrench. There you go, Go Timer. Give you a wrench right there. All right. So again, I wanna just teach you something real quick. So there are many things wrong with this argument. I'm quoting here from the Cato Institute. First, as I discussed above, even in the absence of qualified immunity, it is by no means easy to demonstrate that a police officer violated your constitutional rights. Our Fourth Amendment Our Fourth Amendment jurisprudence incorporates tremendous deference to police decision making, and officers who genuinely make reasonable, good faith decisions about arrests, use of force, etc., are already protected from being sued. They're already protected by the objective reasonableness standard. They're already protected, right? Second, even today, let's move on to the second paragraph here. Second, even today, police officers are nearly always indemnified from any settlements or judgments against them, meaning that their municipal employers, not the officers themselves, actually end up paying. Joanna Schultz, a UCLA law professor and one of the foremost scholars of qualified immunity, demonstrated in a 2014 article called Police Indemnification, that in her study period, governments pay approximately 99.98% of the dollars that plaintiffs recovered in lawsuits alleging civil rights violations by law enforcement. So again, that whole excuse goes out the goddamn window. Local governments are the ones that fucking pay that. It's almost never the goddamn officer. And the only time where the officer is going to pay something is when the officer did something truly fucking fucked up, where qualified immunity would not protect him if we did not have that on the books. Go Tama, you can just have it. It means that you are a valued member. You are a super valued member of this particular community, and it means that if you see trolls, you can take them out. You can snipe them. I give you full permission. Full permission. You are now a moderator in chat. You get full permission. You can have fun. All right. Again, so how is it going to hurt recruitment when soldiers don't get qualified immunity? No, we don't. No, we don't. No, I never got that shit. Bro, I mean, as soon as I said, listen, if I even so much as even disrespected someone's culture while in combat, that could be an Article 15 right there. And Article 15 is basically so Article 15 is a part of the Uniform Code of Military Justice or UCMJ. Basically, it's punishment. You could have your pay reducted, your rank could be snatched from you, and if it's like a field grade one, oh man, a lot could happen. You can be locked up, pay taken away from you. You can go from like E5 to E1 permanently. They can do pretty much, if you get a field grade, you might as well just hang it up, son. That's nasty on your record, son. That's nasty on your record. So again, the military operates by a completely different set of rules, and yet we go to war, but we don't have qualified immunity, and it never hurt our retention. So, and we have MPs too. So, come on now. So, but let's move on here. Qualified immunity is necessary to prevent frivolous lawsuits against police officers. Frivolous lawsuits against police officers. People can sue you for anything. Case closed. People can. There was a man who quite literally sued God. Yep. There was a man who sued God. There was a man who sued God. You can sue anybody for anything in this country. You can sue anybody for anything in this country. That point makes no fucking sense whatsoever. You can sue anybody for anything, right? Right. Whether or not you think frivolous civil rights litigation is a serious problem, it's a problem that qualified immunity by its very nature is incapable of addressing. Yeah. You can't stop somebody from suing you, especially in civil courts. You can't stop them from doing that. So how is qualified immunity going to prevent that in the first place? Anybody can sue you for anything. Four, qualified immunity protects police officers from the time and expense of litigation by quickly filtering out bad lawsuits. How do you know they're bad lawsuits? Right? Let's quote here. This is a somewhat more sophisticated version of the previous defense, but it's still mistaken. The argument goes like this. Yes, in theory, non-meritorious lawsuits should still end up failing, even in the absence of qualified immunity. But it will take substantial time and resources for officers to successfully defend themselves against these lawsuits. Therefore, even if qualified immunity ends up catching some meritorious cases as well, the doctrine is worth the cost because it will let defendants quickly and easily dismiss the frivolous cases. Do you understand how subjective that is? How the fuck do you even determine that? Do you understand how ridiculous this standard is? How unbelievably ridiculous this standard is? Unbelievable. How could anyone think that's a reasonable standard? How could anyone think that's a reasonable standard? Anybody. How do you determine what's a frivolous lawsuit without actually going to court first? I think everybody should have their day in court. If you're willing to pay the money to sue somebody, go to court. That's how the law works. Except if you wear a goddamn badge. They're immune to shit that even soldiers are not immune to. I can tell you that because I worked both fields, law enforcement, and I was a soldier. Multiple time combat veteran, worked corrections, went through the Criminal Justice Academy in South Carolina. Got a badge and everything. Yeah. So I can tell you from both sides, officers get protections that even soldiers in war don't even get. And if you think that's okay, I'm going to call you an idiot. And I'm going to continuously call you an idiot because that's what you are, an idiot. If you think that a soldier at war doesn't need more legal protection than a goddamn cop, there's something wrong with you. Let's move on to the fifth one here. So what's the fifth one? Did you actually give a fifth? It's only 4 there. But again, those are some of the more common offenses there. So I want to give you a ridiculous story here. I want to give you a story about how ridiculous things can get. So let's type in qualified immunity police dog. Now, this story is quite exceptional. This story is quite exceptional. Right? I want you to see why qualified immunity is bad. I don't want you just to like hear why. I want you to see why. It's from the Institute of Justice, right? I want you to see why. Why is a bad idea? Why is stupid? When do soldiers get sued by the enemy? You can also you could be sued in the United States if you're a soldier. Soldiers also do stateside duties as well. But you asking that question, I have to ask, how much do you know about soldiers and their stateside duties? Star Screen 1540. Because there's a lot of things that soldiers do like stateside that people can sue them for, but we don't get qualified immunity. Like, for example, during the riots and protests, there were some soldiers who did some things to some rioters and protesters, and they got sued. Happened. They didn't get qualified immunity. So let's be intellectually honest here, okay? It's from June 3rd, 2020. This week, the U.S. Supreme Court will consider whether to accept 8 different cases that spotlight how the system of qualified immunity, which the Supreme Court created in 1982, has led to the regular and widespread violation of constitutional rights by police and other government officials. While the nation is focused on the tragic death of George Floyd, qualified immunity cases have allowed government officials to steal, maim, willfully destroy property, and even kill, all without facing any consequence for their actions. If any ordinary citizen of the U.S. had engaged in such actions, they would face the full weight of the law against them. But because of qualified immunity, government officials are often held to a shockingly lower standard, leaving their victims to suffer insult after injury. Qualified immunity means that government officials cannot be held accountable for violating the Constitution unless they violate a clearly established constitutional rule. In practice, that means that government officials can only be held liable if a federal court of appeals or the U.S. Supreme Court has already held that someone violated the Constitution by engaging in precisely the same conduct under precisely the same circumstances. Now, how crazy does that standard get? How crazy does that standard get? I'm going to show you how crazy that fucking standard get, right? How precisely must the violation match? Officers were recently granted qualified immunity when they let their police dog attack a suspect who was seated with his hands raised because the court found that an earlier case in which police let loose their dog on a suspect who was lying down wasn't a close enough match. That actually happened. That actually happened. And once again, and I'm gonna actually include these comments into the video. So this is actually from Go Timer 420. He says, at The Hague, some guys I worked with back in the day are in prison for lighting up some unarmed Iraqis at a freaking bank. Yeah, I know some guys right now who simply assaulted a citizen, and they got years. The freaking military, man, I'm telling you something. They don't play around when it comes to that thing, man. Like if you harm a freaking civilian, right? Okay, let me kind of break it down to you like this, right? Right. In terms of the medevac, there's some actually called a 9-line medevac, and in that medevac, it actually gives you what to do to medevac somebody out of a situation, or it gives you who is the priority. Soldiers are a lower priority than in-country civilians, meaning we have a lower priority for medevac than Iraqis or Afghanis. Okay, so that lets you know how the military sees it when you abuse those people. Even on the medevac, they are a higher priority. So that tells you something, right? If you do anything to those citizens and the military finds out, you're screwed. You're screwed. You're screwed. All right? But let's move on here. Qualified immunity means that government officials can get away with violating your rights as long as they violated them in a way nobody thought of before, explained Institute of Justice attorney Anya Bidwell. And that means that the most egregious abuses are frequently the ones for which no one can be held to account. Qualified immunity applies only in civil lawsuits, not criminal ones. But such civil cases are the only means by which individuals or their surviving family members can get compensation for the violation of constitutional rights. And prosecutors often resist bringing criminal charges against government colleagues, especially police officers who are crucial to the daily work of prosecutors. So once again, qualified immunity, right, is a cancer on police officers. It is a cancer. Right? A cancer on the American people. It is used to abuse the American people. And when people argue in defense of qualified immunity, it shows their ignorance. It shows they know nothing about it. And once again, I'm going to add Gotama 420 into the actual video here, the actual video edit here. Once again, Gotama 420 has cleared it up for you. A real warrior does whatever he can to avoid hurting non-combatants. This is why we teach trigger discipline. This is why in the military, if you're going through basic training, if you're a soldier in the field of the army and you flag someone or you point your weapon, that's what we call flagging. If you even point your weapon at someone, that is a bad thing. You can catch an Article 15 for doing that. Believe it or not, if you do it on like a live fire range, technically speaking, that drill sergeant can beat your ass. In no other case can they actually do that, but that is a serious threat at that point. You are pointing a weapon with live ammunition at someone. No judge in their right mind would not call that a damn threat, even if you did not intend to do so. Right? So I want you to understand something. That even soldiers are held to a higher standard than what many of these so-called police officers are held to. Even soldiers are held to a higher standard. Soldiers in combat are held to a higher standard than police officers on our streets. And that's a problem. That's a problem. You never point your weapon at anything that you do not intend to shoot. But there are police officers who don't even obey that basic rule. And yet they never face punishment for it. One of the 8 cases under consideration this week is West v. Winfield, an Institute of Justice case in which an Idaho mom handed her keys to local police so that they could search for a suspect. Rather than using the keys, officers spent the better part of the day firing tear gas grenades and other projectiles into the empty home, destroying it and almost everything inside. The suspect was not there. When the mom sued for the warrantless destruction of her home, the government defended itself by saying that no warrant was needed. When she gave the police her consent to get inside the home, that included her consent to destroy with grenades from outside. So she did nothing wrong. She cooperated with the freaking police. She gave them the freaking keys. Said, hey, officers, I want to help you do your job. They destroyed her home and didn't even have the decency to fix the damage that they did. Didn't even have the decency to fix the damage that they did. Does anyone out there think that qualified immunity should be used to get people off who do shit like this? Does anyone out there think that qualified immunity should be used to get people off when they do shit like this? Do you think that it's right? As a mother who probably struggled, to make enough to buy her home, her home is her fucking sanctuary, right? Her home is her sanctuary. Her home is her sanctuary. And these officers show up and destroy it. Is there anyone out there who thinks that's right? That they shouldn't at least compensate that woman for destroying her goddamn home? Is there anyone out there who thinks that's okay? Anyone out there who thinks that's right? Anyone? Is there anyone out there who thinks that's cool? Anyone? Her home was destroyed, and they lobbed tear gas into her home. You understand? A lot of that gas, even though it could be some days, depending on how much you freaking launch in there, your home for quite some time is gonna be, uninhabitable. No one's gonna be able to live in there, right? No one's gonna be able to live in there, and that's her home. I want to show you some more cases. I want people who defend qualified immunity to kind of explain these cases, right? Right. I just want you to see this, right? Again, I want to start from this sentence here, right? The U.S. Supreme Court has already granted review in another Institute of Justice case, Brownback v. King, where the IG represents an innocent college student who's mistaken for a nonviolent suspect wanted by police for a petty crime. Two plainclothes police officers who never identified themselves as police mercilessly beat James King and choked him until he was unconscious. Then, in a practice often seen among law enforcement to cover up for the misdeeds of officers, prosecutors charged the student with serious felonies, all with the apparent goal of forcing the student into making a plea deal rather than pursuing justice against the police officers who put him in the hospital. Confident he had done nothing wrong, the student I'm gonna edit that out, obviously. Confident he had done nothing wrong, the student successfully fought the charges, earned a unanimous non-guilty verdict. They continued his case to bring the two rogue law enforcement officers to justice for what they had done to him. Citing qualified immunity, the trial court dismissed the student's case, but he miraculously persuaded the appeals court to reverse the trial court's qualified immunity ruling. They beat the shit out of him, put him in a hospital, beat him until he was unconscious. He hadn't even done anything wrong. They started just charging him with a bunch of crimes that he wasn't even guilty of. The courts said that he was not guilty of any of the bullshit that he was charged with. And we try to turn around and says, "Hey, I'm innocent, right? I'm innocent. I want some justice here. I got my ass beat here. I think I should be compensated for that." They tried to use qualified immunity. That's a recent case. That's ongoing in the freaking Supreme Court right now. Right now. I have not seen any of these so-called keyboard warriors present me with cases where qualified immunity is actually a good thing. Because like I said, based on my law enforcement experience, it's only ever used for bad cops. It's never used for good ones. It's only ever used for bad cops. It's never used for good ones. If you're a good cop, your decision is usually never really questionable anyways. I'll say it again. If you're a good cop, if you are a good cop, your decisions are really questionable anyways. Right? So, I gotta tell you, many of these people who are just defending qualified immunity, they don't even know what the fuck it is. They have no idea. No idea. They're just talking out of their ass. Just talking out of their ass. Just talking out of their ass. And that's my thing, man. This is why I forced him to come out of the comment section. This is why I forced him to call into the show. I forced him into not being cowards. Because when you force them to do that, you start to see just how uneducated many of them are. Because they're arguing about qualified immunity with a former law enforcement officer. Does that make any fucking sense to you? Think about it. Think about it for a second. So with that being said, I'm going to go through the comment section here. Yeah, you don't point your weapon at someone unless you are going to shoot. From Bomber Fox, yes. From Go Timer 420, you only put a weapon at someone you already killed. That is true. Cosmic Squirrel, how much training have most cops got? Is it laziness not to do de-escalation training? They have the money to train better cops. That's true. Bomber Fox says at Cosmic Squirrel, focusing too much on force training and supplemental training like warrior cop training. Cosmic Squirrel says no, they should compensate when they wreck people's property, pay the medical bills, and when they throw a grenade at a kid's bed. I agree with that. Yes, Bomber Fox, they have to fix this shit. Qualified immunity is stopping them having to be better. I agree. So guys, that's gonna be the end of the freaking stream. Thank you to the Ace of Spades for following me on Twitch. Thank you, GoTimer44 on 20, Bomber Fox, Cosmic Squirrel, DM Cosmic Chaos. My waste of time. Thank you all for joining me. That was my stream about qualified immunity. I think I've given you a lot of reasons why qualified immunity is bad, and I'm also giving you some literature in the live chats if you want to go and read for yourself. With that being said, guys, thank you so much. Be safe, wear a mask, don't get COVID, please. Horns up, peace out, good night, and good luck.